What's going on, family? Welcome back to the Speakeasy. As you can see, we're all in the same clothes. This is part 2 of our conversation. We were getting ready to walk away, and we were like, wait a minute. We're talking about pickers being broken and all that. And the truth of the matter is that it's important for your picker not to be broken when it comes to your community and your brotherhood and your people you live with, do life with. But it's also really important for your picker not to be broken when you're choosing the woman that you are going to do life with. Or if you're a woman watching, the man that you choose to be with.
Yeah, facts.
But I think it's really important because I think when it comes to men, obviously women have a choice in who they get to deal with. However, we're the ones who initiate the relationship.
Right.
We have the key to the commitment.
Right.
And I think it's really important, especially if we're the choosers for real, for our chooser, our picker, not to be broken. Right? There have been seasons of my life where my picker was a little broke.
Same.
And
Facts.
y'all all knew me. You all knew me in my single season.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you all knew me before I even was dating my wife at all.
Yeah. Facts.
And I knew you guys before, well, Day, you're not married.
I'm not.
But I knew you well before
Yeah.
Bree, your beautiful wife, and you before Yaz, your beautiful wife.
Yeah.
And so there's been times where all of our picker
Yeah. For
has
sure.
been off.
Yeah.
And for you guys, for y'all, name a time where you knew your picker was off.
Grab your popcorn, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Name a time where you knew, my picker's off. Now it's silent. Now it's silent.
They trying to make me go
because
fast.
here's my thing. It's like we can get real. We can start talking. Oh, this is why it's important for your picker to be not broken. This is the things you should choose in a woman. Be transparent.
Yeah.
Talk about you.
Nah, facts. I mean, I'll start, bro. Like, I knew there was a moment where, like, my picker was off where, first of all, the situation was just too easy. You know what I mean? Like, just disclaimer: if the situation happened too easy, brother, signs show, and history shows that it probably ain't worth it, brother.
And for some people, that's how they pick.
Yeah.
They'll pick the low hanging fruit.
Right.
They'll pick what's easy because they know they won't be rejected from easy.
That's a fact.
And that is a way to find out if your pick is broken for real.
So, like, for me, this particular situation, the girl was stunting me, you know what I mean? And so it's just like, well, shoot, you rocking with me, I'll see what you about. You know what I mean? Puff up my chest. And, it, like, strokes your ego as a man to be wanted, by somebody for real. So it's like, that's what happened. It's like, she liked me. She let Anthony know that she rocked with me. And Anthony told me. So Anthony actually a part of this situation.
If you're watching the Speakeasy, I want y'all to know we don't rehearse these conversations. So I'm like, as these stories are happening, we're in our mind trying to figure out who are you talking about.
Yeah, no, facts. So Anthony was a part of this situation because Anthony actually was the one who let me know, like, whole girl like me, asked about me. For sure.
Wow, that's crazy.
For sure. Yeah.
Because your picker broken for other people.
No, but basically, I knew my picker was off for these reasons. One, the situation happened so easily in terms of, like, she liked me. I was just like, well, shoot, you rock with me. Let me see what you're about. You know what I mean? The first conversation we had, bro, like, I'm telling you, she's on the phone, like on FaceTime, like, rolling weed, you know what I mean? Like, with her friends. Like, I don't even know if y'all know this.
Oh, my God.
But, yeah, then what happened?
And then blame me. Not tell me what happened, but blame me. Right.
No, but at that point, I had already seen what she was about. So I won't fit her, a little weed. Ain't no problem with that. But, yeah, so she was on the phone rolling weed. Now, I had been in a point in my life where, like, I'm really involved in church, really involved in, like, doing ministry for real. And so, of course, that's a huge red flag to be like, let me
rolling
step
a blunt
back.
on the first FaceTime call is crazy.
It's different. Bro. But yeah, bro.
Crazy.
No, for sure. So it was like that happened, the first time I was with her, it was just like a whole lot of lust. Which, you know, as a man, it's like, bro, if the lust is there, the lust is there. And it's like, you can know it's a red flag, but be like, bro, well, you know what I mean? It's like the feeling of the lust, you know, is just as strong as the feeling of like, bro, maybe I shouldn't do this. And it's like, you know, when you in situations where like, bro, maybe I shouldn't do this, where it's a little bit more excited. I ain't gonna hold you. So that's what it was a little bit. It was just kind of like, bro, you know, it was a whole lot of lust. In our first interaction, I was just like, well, wow, this is a really easy situation. So it was like, I had already known, like, okay, you know, this is an interesting situation. But I know the type of dude I was at the core of me. So I'm like, well, let me try to fix it. You know what I mean? Let me try to, like, help this be what I needed to be for it to make sense eventually. You know what I mean?
Did you really mean it, though?
Huh?
Did you really mean that?
What? To like
let me fix it?
For sure.
Okay,
That's Tyler, I'm gonna fix her. I ain't gonna hold it. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I will fix a hoe if I like her. I'm sorry, bro.
Oh my
I'm sorry, bro. Now, luckily, I fixed my picker.
Okay.
So I ain't a fix a hoe no more, but I definitely was a fix a hoe. I ain't gonna hold you.
Fix a hoe no more.
I ain't gonna hold you, bro.
I ain't gonna fix a hoe no more.
You know, she was.
I want to keep it.
She literally just did a whole bunch of stuff that, like, I literally, like, a regular person, I'm like, yeah, this is a really annoying. Like, I don't like this. But it was like the lust and the, like, really just all physical. It just, like, made me not make certain decisions, make certain choices, because, like, the physical was comfortable. So that's when I knew my picker was off, and I was willing to let it stay off for a little while.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because of the lust.
Yeah, because of the lust, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I could, because mine is very similar to Josh, so I guess I'll go. In college, when this is before my salvation, all this stuff, I knew certain things that I wanted and what I didn't want in a shorty, but if the sex was good, I ain't care about none of that. I ain't care about none of that. And this young lady in particular, she had a lot of red flags, but she didn't already let me body slam her to the mattress. So,
body slam.
And it was the sexual chemistry was amazing. And to Josh's point, all the red flags I saw, I was like, I think they low key hot pink. I don't think that ain't red.
Right.
It ain't red.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought one eye is yellow for real.
Like, I don't know, but I continued to, like, you know, like, and it's funny because I even told her, I was like, yeah, like, I will never take you serious because of X, Y, and Z. But then I ended up taking her serious because the sex was good. And I was a youngin' then, but now looking back on it now, I can kind of, like, I can truthfully say, like, the nigga that's inside of me, like, was he was like the lead producer and, like, the executive producer of, like, all the things when it came to, like, what I was looking for in women, and all he wanted was sex.
Yeah.
So that was a moment for me where I knew my picker was off, because I was just basing it off of sex and it's gonna suck, but it's just a part of my testimony. Sex and how easy it was for me to, like, be a player, like, around you.
Yeah.
Talk
about
that. What do you mean by that? Yeah, like, so you got some women who's very, very, they instill a lot of trust in the people that they're dealing with.
Ooh.
And, like, they won't check your phone. If you say, you can tell them, I'm leaving Raleigh now, and, you know, and be like, you show up 10 hours later and be like, oh yeah, it was traffic, and they'll believe you. It's just so you was in traffic for 9 hours, really. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, come on now, let's be for real.
Right.
But they'll believe you though.
Right.
And I was encountering women like that, you know what I'm saying? And I did a very great job of just, you know, it ain't even been a player, because if you lying, you're not being a player. Players don't lie. So, and I was lying. Yeah. So I thought I was being a player, but I was being a liar for real. But nevertheless, these women was trusting me, and yeah, like, if you just instilled a whole bunch of trust in me, and I seen ways where I could, like, be a player to try to sneak around it, like, I was kind of giving you more attention because of that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I could kind of, you know,
there was no real boundary.
Right. I could manipulate the situation.
Because I think trust is trust.
Right.
You should believe what I say. If I told you to, you know, that if I was here, if I'm sat on church, I'm here, you should trust that I was here. But a boundary of, hey, bro, like, things don't necessarily have to add up for her.
Yeah.
right? Like you don't have to check in at a certain time. Like, you know, obviously
Right.
you're not married, but at the same time, if you're in a relationship, there is a level of like
Communication.
Yeah.
communication
Right.
that should be
Right.
present.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Right.
So like women it was good sex and no boundaries.
No boundaries. Yeah. Yeah. That's a perfect way to communicate it. Yeah.
Standard in hell. The bar was in hell. No, but we've all been there. We all about to get a story.
Terrible.
Terrible.
How about you, Ty?
So I found out my picker was broken, also connected to Ant, like you.
Wait a minute.
So this is what. So
Oh for
just,
two.
just
Common denominator here.
Wait
keep
a
up.
minute.
just tag along for the story. Just hold on.
Yeah, all right.
So it was never any girl that I like actually dated, but it was always like girls I was talking to.
Yeah.
So there was one girl that Anthony heard was into me.
Like, wow.
Into me. And listen, I actually heard him off walking in the hallway with her, and he said,
I don't remember this story at all.
he said, "Do you like cake?" And she said, "Yeah." And Anthony said, "Do you like Asian cake?"
Anthony said this.
What?
Promise you.
He said,
100%
"Do you like
of the
Asian
time.
cake?" And bro, I wasn't. You don't remember this?
No.
You know who it is?
No.
Oh, you're a liar.
No name
I'm
dropping.
waiting for more details so I can put
No
two and two
name drop.
together. I can't remember any of this story.
Asian
Now do you know who it
cake.
is?
No.
You don't remember that? You don't remember that? That is crazy. Well, I'm here to tell you.
That is terrible.
That's
Asian
stupid.
cake.
Yeah. Asian cake,
I'm
bro.
here to tell
OD,
you.
bro.
Anthony said that. And I was in a point in my life where I was just really young. I was really dumb. I was like 18. Okay.
Yeah.
So I wasn't necessarily in relationships or I had a girlfriend, but I was talking to girls.
Yeah.
And I really didn't know what would be a good match for me. There was
All right, say because you have worse stories than this.
This is actually hilarious.
there was a time where there was another girl that I was talking to, and I brought her to an event, and Anthony was there, and he's like, "You gonna take my brother off the market?"
I hate this for me.
Hey,
This version of you sucks.
Yeah, I don't know him.
But to be fair, at that point in time, like I didn't really know the concept of like don't shit where you eat. So like I would be talking to girls that might not necessarily be the smartest person to talk to at the time. There's another girl where I spoke to. I talked to her for a while. I had never dated her, and I had never done anything sexually with her. Thank God, because one day she had told me that
This is not.
one day she had told me she had something to tell me, and she was like, "Why are you laughing?"
We gonna need to cut this up.
and it's not gonna be like 3 minutes long.
Hey, bro.
This is going crazy.
I'm telling you, bro.
Okay,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
I don't want to be insensitive.
Yo. Yo, guys, we're so sorry. We're so sorry.
I haven't laughed like this.
I'm so sorry. All right, go ahead, Tyler, bro.
Josh, you need to chill.
Go ahead. What you about to share, bro?
Oh wow.
What you about to share, bro? You were talking to a girl that what? She told you what now?
So, my God, I was talking to a girl for like a few months, and relax.
I'm done.
I'm all right.
Go ahead.
I was talking to a girl for a few months, and
It just looks emotional for you right now.
yeah, if you cut it the wrong way, that's how it's gonna look.
With some music in the
It
background.
made me look like some misinterpreted Andrew Tate.
This is perfect. Go ahead.
So I was talking to this girl for a few months, and I really liked her, and there was a day where she was like, I have to tell you something. And I was like, what is it? And she was like, well, I'm afraid to tell you because if I do, you might not like me anymore. And red flags start going off. And I'm like, well, then you need to tell me. Day.
Yo, this is terrible.
Hey, bro.
She was like, I was really afraid to tell you.
Hey, no.
I ain't gonna lie. Hey, he trying to hold it in. He over bumping his head. Yeah, I knew it was coming. It was over.
What's interesting though, Tyler, I will say this. You didn't I feel like your picker was always the least broken.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like you had a really bad picker.
I never had a really bad. It was always if I found out something bad about you,
You're gonna
done.
move.
Yeah, we were done.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
And listen. This is great for going off of the last episode of our podcast. I was surrounded by friends at the time who told me
To stay with her.
well, if you love her,
Oh, here we go.
if you love her,
Oh,
that's all
man.
that matters.
Oh my God.
Those were my friends at the time. If you love her, that's all that matters.
Being around a community with a good picker is really
Oh
important.
my God.
Yeah.
But I kind of knew,
Yeah.
like, even in that
Oh,
advice,
man.
like, I actually need like a third take.
Yeah.
So I told Brian Bullock and then I told Manny and they were both like, are you stupid?
Legit.
Is this even a consideration?
Right.
It's over.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
And I was like, okay, yeah, it's over.
Yeah.
But again, to that point, I feel like you always made wiser decisions in terms of who you chose to be with.
Yeah.
Like actually be with. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to picking, like just dating and talking to somebody, you're always going to be learning about them
Yeah.
and then making the decision from there. The problem is when you find out the bad thing and you find out she's, rolling a blunt literally on FaceTime, or like me, like I would date women, and I liked women who were, when I was younger, that were kind of like me, ambitious and going after it, and I liked them a little older, and they were just stupid things that like,
How much older? Like you were into cougars?
no, not cougars, no, it was just like a few years, because like I've always been a little bit more mature than my age. At least that's how I felt. And I always dated older. And the truth of the matter is, like, those things are they're dumb. It's just like that I just like older. What does that even mean? Because they're more mature. What does that mean? What does that mean in terms of what you need for your life, right? And so I dated women who kind of were a little bit disrespectful.
Yeah.
That's no
That
way
kind of were a little attitudey, and kind of like were. And I'm not a person who is. I'm very confrontational, and so I dated people who were confrontational,
Yeah.
and I'm okay with being with somebody who's confrontational, but it's what you say in said confrontation,
Right.
that lends an issue. And so I ended up in y'all seen all the people I've dated over the years.
Yeah.
They weren't bad people. I don't feel like I ever dated bad people. It was just like, that's not going to work with the kind of person you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had to kind of figure out, having a good picker is, again, like, it's really knowing you
Right.
and the kind of person you want to be, where you want to go, and then figure out the kind of person you need in order to get you where you want to go.
Right.
But I think a big piece of of men's picker being off is typically lust.
Facts.
Yeah.
100%.
Facts.
I was thinking you were
that's
gonna say
number,
that.
I think that's number one.
It's the number one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's number one.
Yeah. Once you get past that, it's
Right.
kind of like,
Right.
yeah, once it's not about lust for real.
Right.
Because once you sleep with a woman enough to,
Yeah.
you start to get a little bit more clear
Yeah.
about what you don't like.
Yeah.
And then all the stuff that you were ignoring because of the lust then really starts pissing you off.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But then you try to have sex again to cloud it, and have sex
Right.
again to cloud it, and then you
Right.
end up in this cycle of
Right.
going back and forth, and then it's comfortable, and then we have memories, and we laugh and all the things, and you know it's unhealthy, you know it's toxic, and you argue all the time, but the sex is good, and you know, and that you probably cheating too. You probably going out to get the stuff that you ain't get from her from somebody else. And the sex from somebody else.
Yeah.
You're double dipping. It's just a mess.
And that's the thing, like for men, it's like it ain't just we breaking up with who this person is. We break it up with the sex. We break it up with the physical things that we might have done together. It's like we think about that. That's a fact there, whether or not you gonna stay here or not. You know what I mean? It's like that's what a lot of men do, and it's not necessarily the right way to go about it, because it's just kind of like, bro, if I'm just thinking about what I'm gonna lose in this physical, it's like, bro, people don't understand. Like a lot of physical can be even better if these things that you really desire in this person are met. So it's like, that's the sad part about it.
I think for me, one of the reasons why, like when you say like you never really felt like my picker was broken, I feel like one of the things that had always helped me was I was never afraid to tell a girl, this is why I'm not talking to you.
Yeah.
And I feel like there are some guys, not all guys are like this, but I feel like there's a good amount of dudes who might see red flags and might see things that they don't like, but they don't necessarily want to be the bad guy. They don't want to be the dude that broke her heart.
I'm guilty.
They don't want to be the
I'm
dude.
guilty.
They don't want to be the dude that hurt her feelings. And so they keep going.
Yeah.
And they keep going. And they keep going, and before you know it, you together, and you with them, and now it's 2 years later, and your life sucks,
Right?
Because 2.5 years ago, you couldn't tell her, yeah, I don't want to talk to you, I don't want to be with you, because these are things that I see as an issue, and I don't want that. And I was never afraid. I was a bad guy to a lot of girls,
And they progressive, and because you didn't communicate that, it progressively got worse.
yeah,
Oh, for sure.
And
It
you
got worse.
made it normal. And in your mind, you're kind of like, this is who she is.
Yeah.
And then you're afraid to take the next step in the relationship. And she's wondering why she ain't got a ring in her finger. She's wondering why you ain't trying to go to the next step. And the truth of the matter is because I don't necessarily believe this is like possible to do in a marriage for the rest of my life. I don't know if I can put my entire life on the line to be with you, but these are things that I have not communicated. And now I feel like it's too long.
And the longer time goes by, the harder it's going to be to tell her that this was a problem I saw at day one. This whole time I never said nothing.
Yeah.
And so...
And she's going to bring it up.
Yeah.
She's going to bring
eventually,
it up. You should have been told me. You should have been told me that you...
It's
absolutely.
Eventually, it's just not going to work.
But it's real.
Or you're going to force it to work as long as you can until that it just destroys you.
Yeah.
And so for me, I was a bad guy to a lot of girls that I talked to.
Yeah.
And I was okay with that.
Bro, but
was
you
okay with
you
it.
know what I just thought about too? Like that's like the case for a lot of men. It's like, bro, so many men and even women, right? Like they don't know themselves enough to not be manipulated. And so it's like you end up picking somebody that like, you pick for whatever reason, but you sticking around, whether if it's not the lust, a lot of times it's also like, what are the things that they're saying in the moment of heat to try to keep me around? Like, I know for typically a man to a woman, like I've heard so many scenarios where a man will act like he about to off himself or like he about to do something to harm
Jesus
himself
Christ.
to keep his woman, and she feels like, no, I don't want him to do anything bad to him, so I'm gonna stay here, and for a man, it's like a woman is just like, but you didn't tell me, you had all these expectations, you didn't say this, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, no, fam, we actually did discuss this, or they'll try to twist what you say or like gaslight you into like thinking that you the problem, and it's like, nah, fam, and I think both scenarios can be, on either side, like, that's happened for both genders, but, that manipulation piece, that emotional manipulation, bro, that's something to watch out for too.
100%. And I think one of the major manipulations I think a lot of men fall for is you didn't give me an opportunity to change.
Right.
Yeah.
You didn't. If you loved me, you would have walked with me through it. If you would have loved me, you would have been. There are things, and this is why I think it's really important to know you.
Yeah.
And to know you really well.
Right.
you're not gonna get a perfect woman.
No.
Right.
You're never gonna get a perfect woman. Absolutely not.
Never gonna get a
But
perfect
you
man.
gotta you have to understand the unperfect that you can take.
Right. Right.
You gotta understand the flaws and the issues that you can work with.
Right.
There's certain things you can't work with.
Right.
Like there are men who can deal with a little bit of somebody saying something disrespectful to them. And this is not shade. This is not heat.
Yeah.
This is like maybe you grew up in an environment, maybe in the North, New York, whatever. Like, yeah, we argue, you say some things we don't mean, we get back together and we cool. Like that's
what's normal to them.
That's your normal.
Right.
That's Kendrick Lamar's
Right.
song. This is what the world sounds like today.
Yeah, and if this is your normal, then and that's what you're cool. I know me enough
Right.
to know that is a non-negotiable for me.
Facts.
And I am not,
You
and
won't
because
do
because I love you as a person, and this is my love towards you.
Facts.
I cannot lead you on to believe that I am willing to tolerate a morsel of this,
Yes.
an ounce of this.
Yeah.
That's a non-negotiable for me.
Yeah.
Right? She maybe, I don't know,
Yeah.
doesn't have big dreams or big aspirations and okay, I can deal with that. Like there's just certain things I can deal with. Or she's not confrontational. That's a big one.
Yeah.
My wife's not confrontational.
Yeah.
And that annoys me because I'm confrontational. I like to talk when I want to talk, and I
Right.
want you to talk when I'm ready to talk.
Right.
And she ain't ready to talk.
Yeah.
She's never ready to talk when I'm ready to talk. But that is something that I can deal with.
Yeah.
As I become more understanding of her inability to be confrontational, and her being more understanding of me being confrontational.
Yeah.
Right? Like I can deal with that.
Right.
And isn't that also part of why you love her too?
Yeah.
That she's not confrontational.
She's not.
Yeah.
But it's annoying.
It can be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has its pros and cons.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
pros and cons.
How did you figure out when you were dating? Like, how did you present non-negotiables to Kiera as y'all were dating?
Oh yeah, yeah. I tell this story all the time. I think it's around our first date. I took a knife from the table, and I put the knife up, like the knife was up. There was a sharp side and the dull side. You know the knife, and I said, "Everybody's a knife." I said, "Everybody can cut. Everybody has a sharp side, and everybody has this dull side right here."
Right.
It is a non-negotiable that anytime we are in a disagreement, anytime that we're arguing, anytime that we do not agree, it is a non-negotiable that you never use the sharp side, that you never cut me, that you never do anything or say anything to intentionally harm me.
Yeah.
And I will not do the same. I will not do that to you.
Right.
I was like, the job can get done right on the dull side. Calm, gentle, have a conversation. We can be mature about this, but never cut me.
Yeah.
Because if you cut me, I'm cutting this off.
Facts. Facts.
Gotta happen.
That's facts. And I think,
Yeah.
bro, like we can stay on the non-negotiables for a while because I think, of course, that's the reason why a lot of people choose wrong is because they don't know their non-negotiables. Like they don't know what they're willing to say. Like, nah, you know what I mean? Or if they do know, they're not strong enough, you know, to like really like stand on that for real. It's like, no, bro, like this is what I want and this is what I'm not willing to give up. Don't matter how good you look. It don't matter like you're great in this other area, but like if you're violating this and I know for a fact long run I can't deal with this, it's like, yeah, you got to break it off. So it's like even with this situation where, you know, the girl who I did pick that was off, it's just kind of like, fam, like you rolling weed, you rolling that dojo on the first call. It's like, fam, like that's just a level of like, I mean, I feel you comfortable, but it's like I can't. It's a non-negotiable for me for, you know, my lady to kind of present herself that way, in that type of environment. You know what I mean? But it was like in that moment, I was just like, well, you know, I'll make an exception, you know. And it's like we can't be making exceptions for sure. Like, Day, I wanna know for you, like, you know, you're still single, you know, and so you're still in the pool where you're trying to figure things out. But like, for you now, how did you get from a place of like, bro, I was choosing wrong, and I know I was choosing wrong to like, bro, I'm trying to get to a space where I'm trying to choose right.
Yeah, so you saying like what got me on the path
Right.
of like I want to get this dating thing right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, and I'm not trying to over spiritualize it, but my salvation, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because just the truth of the matter is, before I was saved, I didn't really like see marriage, so I didn't really care for it.
Yeah.
But when I got saved and I seen, you know, healthy marriages around me, like you guys, you know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, like, that's something I kind of want. So that's what started it. And then just like as I continued to date, as I continued to have experiences dating people, I kind of was just like making a list of what I don't like and what I didn't like.
Yeah.
And I would ask myself like, yo, why don't you like, I don't know, just say for example, a mean or rude girl.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, because I'm not mean or rude to anybody. It's not a soul that can be like, oh, this is a rude person.
Right.
And I love people. It's just like, if I love people and you don't, that ain't gonna work for me. And I heard Pastor Manny, he said something one time, and I thought it was like very brilliant. He was just like, as a man, you should have a blueprint of how you want to build your house. Your house is your life, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, you shouldn't pick up any bricks to build your house before you have your blueprint.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And he was saying like, you know, picking up a brick is like trying to go get in a relationship.
Right.
Because it's like, you don't even know the blueprint for your house. So how you gonna know this girl you're trying to pick is good
Right.
for you?
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's
So
good.
when I
That's
heard
good.
that, it just changed my whole perspective. I was like, yeah, let me lock in on like where I'm trying to go. And then when I got saved, I like got a clear understanding of my purpose, my calling, and all those things. And then you know, just like I said, just dating people and kind of seeing like, yeah, I couldn't tolerate that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm at a point now where I got about 90% of it all figured out. Like, yeah, I'm learning. This is what I can do. This is what I can't
Right.
do. So,
If you've been transparent, bro, do you feel like at this point now, like you still sometimes make exceptions? And like if you do, how do you like get to a place where it's like, bro, like I need to like talk to somebody? Like how do you get to a place where you fix that almost?
Yeah. I mean, the exceptions I make is what Tyler said earlier about being the nice guy.
Yeah.
Or being the not
Yeah.
being the bad guy. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And that's something I honestly got to pray about, bro. Like I honestly like kind of had a real moment with myself probably about a month ago. It was like, bro, like everybody's not gonna like you, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And for me, it's just like kind of like talking to y'all, talking to Matt. You know, people that know me, people that's
Right.
gonna keep it real with me, and just about
Right.
you know about like my issues with whoever it is I may be dating or whatever the case may be, and just kind of like getting that second opinion or that third opinion.
Yeah.
On that type of topic, because I think if it was just up to me, I would just be I would be the yes man. I would be the good guy. Everybody
Right.
loves Day, and I would put myself in situations where I'm not happy.
Right.
So
Whatever,
so,
keep
yeah.
a smile on their face.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
and it's just like, yeah, but what about you?
right.
Right.
And I also would say this to anybody out there. It's okay to have non-negotiables. It's okay to have standards.
It's
and all
okay.
that stuff,
Right.
because and preferences too, because a lot of people, especially in this generation, they would try to crucify you
Right.
for having a preference.
Right.
Oh
It's
my
like,
God.
I don't prefer that.
Bro, that's so good, bro.
So I'm not gonna deal with that. And then
Yeah.
a lot of people be like, oh well, you judgy or you this or you that. It's just like, no, that's just what I prefer.
No, exactly.
yeah.
And some of the very beginning conversations that I have with especially men is getting okay with your non-negotiables.
Yeah, fact.
Getting very okay and then believing that you're worth the person that you're desiring.
That's a fact.
Right?
That's good, yeah.
That's a fact.
And that you are building the character and who you need to be in order to lead said person.
Right.
Right. And we're big on, and I think because the expectation, our standard is holding each other accountable, making sure that we're walking the walk and doing what we need to do in order to be everything that God's called us to be. Right. And so because that's the standard, I'm like, yeah, no, you need to be really okay with your standards.
Yeah.
You need to be really okay with, I'm not dealing with that. Right. Understand I'm not going to have a perfect woman. I'm not going
Right.
to, but I am going to choose somebody who is kind to me. I am going to choose somebody who's going to help me build this thing that God showed me, right? The family that I want,
Right.
to help me, to partner with me in creating the home that we want,
Yeah.
right? Like, and whatever that means for you.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? Like
Right.
our whys are very different
Yeah. Yeah.
because we're two very different people.
Facts.
Our picker, both our pickers need to be healthy.
Yeah, for sure.
But our picker is going to choose somebody
Right,
different
right.
because you're a different person
Right.
than I am.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Now both our wives are sweet
Yeah.
and kind to
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
Right? But they are different because we're different people.
Right.
Right.
And
Right.
so it's just really important, right? To today's point about what Pastor Manny said is like understand the blueprint.
Right.
Right.
Where are you going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you trying to build?
Yeah. Right.
And who's
Yeah.
the person that's going to help you build that thing?
Right.
Right.
Are your visions aligned?
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
I think that is really important too, because if you don't have a blueprint, you'll date anybody.
Oh,
Facts.
ooh.
So when you do have a blueprint,
That's it.
dating actually becomes more difficult
Yeah.
Yeah.
because now there's a standard.
Yeah.
And now there's an expectation. And now you actually have more of an understanding of who you are. So now you can make a better decision on who you need for you.
Yeah.
I feel like there are a lot of people who don't have a blueprint, and there are a lot of people that also don't really know them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who don't ask themselves hard questions. It's very rare nowadays to find people who are honest with themselves. And not just honest with themselves, but honest with themselves and make proper adjustments in their life after they have an honest conversation with themselves.
Yeah.
Like, do you know your top 10 strengths and your top 10 weaknesses? If you do, that would give you a better, it'll help you make a more informed decision on who you should be with.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if you're really rude, you might end up picking a girl who's really rude. And that y'all suck.
Yeah.
Nobody's inviting you
Right.
to the party.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody.
No, not at all.
If you really care about your career and you pick someone else to be with you who really cares about their career, well, who's raising the kids when we have kids?
The nanny. The nanny.
What a dinner at. House of
If
that.
you-
And the fact of the matter is, like, are y'all, like, if they do care about, like, are y'all all right with a nanny raising your kids?
It's okay.
You know what I mean?
It's
Like,
okay if
bro,
you are.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody's different.
I
That's
know
the point.
I know for me, when I was really honest with myself and I asked myself hard questions about who I am, what I'm good at, what I'm not good at, it really did help me make a more informed decision on who I choose.
For sure.
So when I first started dating, after that point, it was really difficult because a lot of girls were just like, yeah, that's no.
Yeah.
Because it comes off as a lot of work.
Oh yeah.
Like I would present to them, yeah, this is what I want for my life. Like this is where I want to go. This is what I want to do. This is what I believe in. This is what I want out of a woman. I want to be with a woman who's like X, Y, and Z. And a lot of girls are just like, you're crazy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And they didn't agree.
Absolutely.
There are a lot of conversations I had where there was a lot of disagreement. And at the end of the day, I was like, you really pretty, but I'm good.
I'm good.
And that is all right.
And that's okay.
And when I found Yaz,
Yeah.
I had that conversation with her, and she was like, okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Yes.
And we had a lot of agreement on things.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I feel like, man, the most important thing when it comes to your picker is knowing you.
Yeah.
Facts.
That's the
It
most
gotta
important
start with
thing.
you. It has
It's
to.
the most important thing. And I don't mean that in a way of like you have to be perfect.
Yeah.
Because there's such a famous phrase like broken people, like you shouldn't be with two broken people can't be together.
Yeah.
Like you've got to work on yourself.
Yeah.
Again, I feel like everybody's different. And
Yeah.
I feel like that's such a nuanced thing. I do feel like it's possible to be with someone when you're in a broken point in your life.
Yeah.
And you both can grow together.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't recommend necessarily dating somebody while you're in complete shambles.
No.
But I do
Yeah.
think there is some space, right? You can date somebody when you're not necessarily all together. Maybe you're still in a healing process.
Right,
And
right,
et cetera.
right.
I think it's possible to start getting to know somebody,
Right.
et cetera, et cetera.
Clay AD.
I probably wouldn't make any long lasting decisions until I'm healed, because the healed version of me may not like may not like you all like that. You know what I'm saying? Who knows, right? So I think it's important to point that out. But I love that you said ask yourself the hard questions.
You have to.
Right.
You have to ask yourself the hard questions, because at the end of the day, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
If you are a man who you are passionate about teaching, you are passionate about being a high school, middle school educator, you have to know, one, this is how much educators make.
Yeah.
This is how much educators make, and that's okay. Either you can be with somebody who is, ambitious and loves what you do, but that person has to love what you do.
Yeah.
Right.
That has to be a non-negotiable for you. Because what happens is sometimes you'll get in a relationship with somebody who wants you to be something you don't want.
Yeah.
Who wants you to turn into somebody you're not.
And
it's just like, I've already rested and resolved in the fact that this is what I'm going to make for the rest of my life.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I can live in this apartment like this and be happy.
Yeah.
This is what I want to build.
Yeah.
And then when I have my child, I want them to be an educator too, maybe. I want them to love this. I want to love what I do. I'm not trying to own 10 properties. I'm not trying to climb up the corporate ladder. I'm not trying to make this kind of money. This is what I want to do.
Right.
Maybe I want to be a principal. Like, this is what I decided. I'm going to make this.
Yeah.
And being with somebody who you got to be with somebody who loves what you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to be with somebody who's a cheerleader for what you do.
Right.
Yeah.
Who and you can be a cheerleader for what they do.
Right.
Yeah.
Y'all got to believe in what each other do. Like it's I think that's really important, asking yourselves the heart. And then if you're super ambitious, right, the same question.
Yeah.
Who gonna pick up the kids if I'm traveling here and here and here and here and here? Or if I'm in the military, can you be with a military man? Or you're gonna be mad that he gets deployed?
Yeah.
Right.
Jesus.
You're gonna be mad. There's gonna be some natural emotions there, but you're gonna resent him.
Yeah.
Because he got deployed. You knew what you were getting into.
Yeah.
Serving the country.
Yeah. And I think
You mad.
But that's not for everybody.
Yeah.
But understand that if that's what you with, then you need to get ready for that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Ask yourself the hard questions.
I think going into that too, like when I was dating, there was nothing that I enjoyed that I would hide. Not a thing.
Yeah.
I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud of what I enjoy. I'm proud of what I want to do with my.
you like that with us too.
For sure.
You like that
Yeah.
with us too. You're gonna put stuff in the group chat. I don't care nothing about.
Yeah, man. But here,
But awesome, Tyler.
But the great
Yep.
thing about that when it came to dating was I could figure out right then and there if they don't like me or not.
Yeah.
If they don't rock with me or not. There was nothing about me that I would hide from them.
Yeah.
So that a year later, that's when I share it, or that's when they find out, because that would be such a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Yeah. My bad.
No, you're good. Go.
No. I was gonna say, and I think that's the beauty of like having standards and knowing yourself, because it naturally creates a process of elimination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think what a lot of people go wrong
Yeah.
is they don't know themselves, so they overwork themselves, and now they work themselves to the point of exhaustion, and now they making these decisions because they done grew weary trying to figure out who they need in their life and who they trying to date.
Yep.
And I just think like, man, like back to the whole like beginning point is like it starts with you, knowing your weak spots, knowing what you want, knowing what you don't want. So
Facts.
And you know what's a conversation we had a while ago was that a lot of people say that they're dating for marriage,
yeah.
when we've learned from having lots of conversations, we date to figure out, can I break up with you?
Jesus.
We date to figure out, can I actually break up with you? This is a test to see if we can actually go through hard things and get through it.
Yeah.
And I feel like, and I forget who told us this. Somebody told us this, but the number one reason why you pick a partner is not actually because you love them. The number one reason why you pick a partner for your life is because it makes sense to be with them.
100%.
Facts.
It makes total sense.
Facts.
And there are a lot of people who pick somebody that, sure, you love them, but it make no sense why you with them.
No sense.
It make no sense at all.
Not now one.
and they think it's magical.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it doesn't make sense, but we're gonna work it out. It's like,
but when your life is being shown to the world and people see the fruit that you're producing, it's like, this actually makes no sense at all.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, one of the good things that I learned before I decided who I married was that it has to make sense.
you know what's so funny? Me and this is something that me and my ex used to say, like, because neither one of us were like, it sounds terrible, but like, you're not the person I would usually go for. And so what we would say was like, yeah, like my favorite ice cream is Oreo. It's cookies and cream ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
But we were like, it's like you go into an ice cream parlor and they got cinnamon ice cream. And you taste the cinnamon ice cream and you're like, yo, cinnamon ice cream's really good. Like, I really enjoy cinnamon ice cream. Okay. Like, I'll have cinnamon ice cream today. And we were like, we're cinnamon ice cream. It's not necessarily, and this is how, in the time, it felt so cute.
Right.
At the time, I was like, oh yeah, like we're cinnamon ice cream, right? Like we're finding something else we like we really like. But the truth of the matter is, you're gonna get tired of cinnamon ice cream.
Facts. And you gonna wish you had cookies.
You're gonna wish you had cookies and cream.
It's just another way of saying I settled.
Right.
Really is.
And at the time,
Call it what it is.
at the time, it didn't feel like, oh, like this is like we're talking about. We're literally telling each other we're settling,
Bro.
This is so cute. We're settling. It didn't feel like at the time, but it 100% was like, yeah. Because we sure got tired of cinnamon ice cream.
Facts.
Yeah.
And now can we like really talk about how like that's one of the worst feelings you can have is like buyer's remorse. Settling, feeling like you put in time and energy into something that you know you shouldn't have. Like, bro. And this is why, like, if your picker is broken, fix that joint.
Yeah.
Because in the long run, bro, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard with somebody that you love and that meets your non-negotiables and meets your standards. But it's gonna be horrible, terrible with somebody you chose when you didn't know yourself, you didn't know where you were going, you didn't have your blueprint, you didn't necessarily know yourself enough to say like, yeah, you don't meet my standards for real. And I've stayed around for this amount of time for whatever reason, and now I'm realizing like, bro, this sucks really bad. And like there's more things that's holding you to it. A lot of people, they got a kid with this person now, you know what I mean? They stand with them now. So it's like their finances are entangled with one another. It's how do I break apart from this situation that I'm now realizing at a place where like I'm finally starting to figure myself out, where it's like, bro, I really actually settled. And like, this sucks.
And my heart goes out to those who are kind of entangled in that.
Yeah.
Right. And one, like, yo, we want to extend so much grace to you.
Right.
Because we've all done it.
Right.
We've all made choices in seasons where we probably shouldn't have been making choices.
Yeah.
But, you know, the longer you wait to break it off, the worse you're gonna look in the end.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
And the more exhausted you're gonna become with just relationships in general.
That's the truth.
And then when the right thing comes around, you're gonna be so tired that you don't want to give anything to her.
Right.
And you're gonna feel like it's not, and then you're gonna, I want to heal, or I need some time to myself. I just want to be single for a while, whatever. And then you might find something really healthy.
Yeah.
But then you're so used to the crap you've been in and the crap you've been dealing with, you don't even like the healthy thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lord.
Yeah. And it's like that's why also like you have to, our last conversation that we just had, it's like, bro, community, if you're in a situation right now where you do got space to get up out of there, you know what I mean? And you've known that like, yo, I chosen wrong. Like one of the things that has saved my life, and thank God that I had community at this time, is like, bro, when you used to say this all the time, is like, bro, when you're emotionally drunk, you need somebody who's just sober. You know what I mean?
You need a designated driver.
You need a DD.
He not in my relationship. He don't feel the same way I feel about her. He need to be able to tell me the truth about me, remind me of who I am.
Yep.
To where I realize, you know what, bro, you're right. Like, and if you have somebody in your life who can remind you of who you are, take advantage of that person to help you, like, get out of certain situations that you shouldn't be in.
Right.
To hear what they need to say to, like, eventually realize, like, you know what? Yeah, this is who I am, and if I stay in this situation, I'll be settling, and that's not gonna work out for me in the long run.
Right.
And so, yeah, bro.
Yeah, I think going off of that,
Yeah.
and going off of what I said earlier, where there is a level of, I do think there are areas in everyone's life where you have a level of brokenness, and that shouldn't necessarily be something that holds you back from having a relationship with somebody. I mean, I know when I started dating Yaz, there are areas in my life in which I was still broken and needed to heal, and she was there with me through it.
For sure.
But at the same time, there are people who your life is just a mess.
Yeah.
And one of the ways that you cope with your life being a mess is from one relationship to the next relationship to the next. I am sure all of us know somebody who's never single.
Yeah.
I am sure all of us know somebody in life who always breaks up with someone, and then 2 weeks later they got another. They're in another relationship,
And it may not be all the way in another relationship, but it's some serious talking, like
right.
You know, some serious.
I have a friend who I'd be a millionaire if I had $1 for every time he had told me she's the one, bro.
Oh no, wait,
I
no,
think
bro,
she's
she's
the one.
different.
Oh, she's
bro,
different.
she's different.
Yeah,
bro,
bro,
what does that mean?
Every dude says that, bro. Every
bro.
time.
Explain
Look,
it.
Marseille-
Y'all annoying.
Marseille
Y'all
in the
annoying.
background, right? They're different every single time.
I have heard one of my boys.
I'm like,
just
she
tell
look
me.
exactly the same as the last one, Quest.
And not even just exactly the same.
Marseille.
Ooh,
And not even she look exactly the same. Y'all doing
this one's great though.
God help me.
Yeah,
Sorry.
y'all. Not even y'all. She's different, but y'all doing the exact same stuff you were doing in the last relationship.
Yeah.
Because you don't got yourself together. You don't have your life together. So I have a question, which we've kind of been touching on, which is obviously you need to have a blueprint for your life. You got to ask yourself serious questions. What are some practical ways to fix your picker if your picker's broken?
That's a fantastic question.
Ooh, I think one. Welcome to the Speakeasy community.
Facts.
Yeah.
It is people letting you know, hey, bro, your pick is broken. You're picking the same unhealthy person over and over and over again. And you said you want to do this and you want to be this.
Right.
And that's not the person who's going to help you get there.
Right.
Right. And so, like, holding you accountable to the things that you say you need and the things that you say you want.
Right.
Right. And so it makes you go, okay. And right, like, have a community that don't make you that don't let you think with your dick.
Facts.
That's the bulk of it.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
I know what
facts.
it is. Like I remember one of them over there who behind the screen was like showing me this new girl that they were dating at the time, some time ago. And he was like, "Oh, yo, this is my girl. This is my new girl. Yo, she's different. She's amazing." And it was just like her in a thong, and I was just like, "Bro, that look like the same thought you were dating last time.
Very on brand with every other girl.
What are you talking about?
Right.
This is very.
It's a different thong, bro.
Is it just a different thong?
thong.
Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, that's what it is. Different thong.
thong.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. This one. Okay.
I see where you're going. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, bro. It's and people to be like, yeah, bro. No, that's not the same. That's the same thing you did last time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so like, let's talk about how you're not gonna get out of this one.
It's just the devil in a different thong.
Yeah. Ooh.
Jezebel.
It really is, though.
Nah, bro.
It really is.
Nah,
And you're the same type of unhealthy person that's choosing that.
Facts.
Yeah.
And so let's not make it about her because it's not about her. She's not bad. She's being who she was already.
Facts.
Yeah.
It's you are unhealthy.
Right.
And you are choosing badly because you are in an unhealthy space.
Right.
Because you know what you bring into every new relationship?
Yep.
You.
Yeah.
Facts.
Every single one.
Every time.
You break up with the last one, you bringing you to the next one.
Yep.
And the same unhealthy you, the same dude who thinks with his dick, the same dude with no self-control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the reason why you're choosing that is because you don't have self-control.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you're just like, oh yeah, I just want to hit. You know she ain't different. We know that, bro.
Right.
We know, bro. We want to think they different so bad.
We do know.
She's
and-
different. It's like a get out of jail card.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's only to convince you.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like
Yeah, but there comes a
different how.
point where there does come a point where for the listener,
Yeah.
of she's different, where we at this point it's just empty words.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, for sure.
How many times you gonna tell me she's different?
And you know what? They're empty even when she's different. Cause I'm not gonna believe she's different until I meet her,
Right.
until I see her
Right.
around.
Right.
Listen, and we know we'll talk about this one day.
Yeah.
But bringing women around our space, they're
sure.
going through a process.
Oh my God.
yeah.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
You are,
Yeah.
yeah.
You
This
get
is-
vetted.
Interrogation
This
room.
is
Yeah.
this is a process.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, I mean, I don't
Yeah.
honest. Why do their opinions matter? Cause they do.
They do.
Yeah.
Bet pad
you
that.
gonna get
Sorry.
asked some
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah,
You gonna get asked some
absolutely.
questions.
Get an A.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you're gonna be around our wives,
It's
and
so-
they're gonna be super nice to you and sweet, and y'all gonna eat and do all the things. And then when we get into bed, they're gonna let us know what they think about you.
Yeah.
No, that's
and,
a fact. That's so
And
funny.
we're gonna- yeah.
Even just the other day, Bree had asked me. She was just like, "Would you have married me if your friends didn't like me?" I was like, "Absolutely not." I was like,
No.
we wouldn't be together right now at
No.
all. Promise you.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
You passed the test, baby.
it's
You're
a-
good.
Like,
Yeah.
people gotta understand, like, your relationship is your relationship. With this person, it's gonna be a different level romantically. But these are
Right.
people who know me the most, who I
Yeah.
trust the most. And if they see something that's a red flag that I don't see, like, I have to acknowledge that, bro. If
That's
I
the
really,
biggest part.
If I really trust them,
That's
what
the
I mean?
biggest part.
Yeah. But even just to answer the questions in terms of like practicality and like what needs to be done, like we've hinted on it this whole time, is like, work on you. Facts. Like, work on yourself. Like that's when it comes to community is working on yourself. Finding the right community is working on yourself. Like, and I know there's a lot of people out there who might be listening to this who might think, well, I mean, ain't really much wrong with me. You know what I mean? It's like, I invite you to really like start to ask yourself the hard questions, but also like really observe the fruit in your life. Really genuinely observe the fruit in your life. Like, everybody knows at the end of the day, there's things that they want and there's things that they don't want. Look at your life and see whether or not it's more on the don't want side or, go in the direction that you want to go in. But if you look at the fruit of your life, you can acknowledge like, okay, there's an area I need to change. And if you yourself can't like conceptualize what needs to happen for you, go talk to somebody who can help you do that. Like, go to therapy. You know what I mean? Like, talk to somebody who can help you with perspective. Go to, if you're Christian, go to church. Find somebody who you trust, who can be a pastor in your life, who can speak to you, because you really like to learn to move forward. Like, you gotta know your purpose. You gotta know what you're about, and if you don't know that, like we said earlier, like, you'll date anybody. You'll choose anybody.
Yeah.
You gotta make that pool smaller.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and to build off of what, Josh just said about after you kind of, starting with getting you together. And once you do that, the next step and my solution to practicality when it comes to the picker is like, now you'll be able to have a set of questions or difficult questions that you can ask the candidate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I feel like a lot of people skim over that process and they don't ask good questions, and then it's just like, okay, well, she looked good, and I mean, we had a good conversation, so I'm gonna just roll with it. And it's just like, yeah, that's a very shallow picker.
Right.
You should have some questions and non-negotiables and standards that you should kind of put out in front before you try to go pursue somebody. So yeah, I think the 3 responses was like perfect, bro.
Yeah.
I really do.
Spearhead.
Yeah.
Spearhead. Did you have anything to add
you
to
would
that,
add to
Tyler?
Fix your picker.
To fix your picker, I mean, going off of what you said, I do think in order to have a good picker, you need to have someone that will hold you accountable.
Yeah.
Facts.
And I don't even just mean friends.
Yeah.
I also mean somebody who is married
Yep.
Yeah.
and has been married
Yep.
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah.
And their marriage is successful.
Yeah.
And you actually look up to them.
Which is a whole nother conversation. So go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, you actually look up to them and you admire them.
Right.
And you want eventually your marriage to be as happy as theirs.
Right.
I feel like that kind of accountability is going to help you have a good picker.
For sure.
And for for guys and for dudes and for women. Like for any women out there, if you're dating a dude, he should have someone that's holding him accountable. If you're dating a dude and there's nobody holding him accountable, then you'll have no security in the fact that he's going to treat you well.
Run the other way.
And the other way.
Yeah.
It's such a big deal to me. Like, and I want us to talk more about this at some point in this season. And that is finding good mentors.
Yeah.
And when we're talking about building a blueprint and we're talking about like, you gotta have a model.
Right.
You have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what I want to accomplish in my career, etc. But like, if I've never seen a healthy marriage or a healthy home, what's the blueprint?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, me and Kiera are intentional about being around people who've been married a long time.
Yeah.
Right. We just sat down with a couple who've been married 30 plus years and learned their story and learned how they stay together. And they got 3 sons in college. And I feel like this generation is like, I'm hearing a lot. It's like, we're rejecting the OGs.
Oh yeah.
We're rejecting wisdom from generation. Oh, we're not
Because
the
they
same. We're not our ancestors. We're not the same. We're not this. We're like, and it's just like, y'all just because y'all lack wisdom.
Yeah.
which is foresight.
Yeah.
You think everything's about right now.
Right.
What you're dealing with right now. What
Right.
you're experiencing right now. Who you want to be right now.
Yeah.
But remember I just shared with y'all that video of that couple that's been married 72 years.
Yeah, bro.
Crazy.
That's OD.
And they're talking about a level of forgiveness that people in this day and age would scarf at. They're absolutely not.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna stay together, you're gonna experience some stuff.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I haven't experienced yet.
Yeah.
But I listen to wisdom from people older than me who've been married for a long time and believe them.
Yeah.
And model my marriage after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And pick up wisdom from them.
Yeah.
And I think it's just really important that you have a mentor, that you have a couple, if you want to get married, that's married and has been married a long time, and that loves each other, that are friends, and that you can kind of be underneath, and that you can meet with once a month, quarterly, whatever they can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care. Be a part of their life. Go to dinner.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, that's really important. I just want our generation. I want us millennials, and I want Gen Z, even the Alpha generation. My kid growing up I want them to embrace the people that came before us.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And appreciate wisdom.
Right.
For sure.
Yo, another great conversation, fellas.
Absolutely, bro.
Every
This is great. Listen, love y'all. I'm so sorry, y'all. Listen, we just straight cracked up in the middle of this conversation.
Facts.
So maybe I don't know how much is gonna come
We
off.
finna laugh again after this over.
There's probably about 10 minutes of this and we just hollering. But we love y'all. Thank y'all for sitting with us, laughing with us. Talk to y'all soon. See y'all next week.
Peace.
Peace out.